Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being on tonight. It is Tuesday night, which means it's our Rock Your Health and Product webinar, and we have Dr. Joshua Dunsky with us tonight. I am JoJo Bennington, so for those of you who do not know me, I have been working with Isogenics for 10 years, and Dr. Dunsky and I have been working together for four or five? I don't know.
4 years, yeah, I think so.
So Dr. Dunsky has a practice in Framingham, Mass, and works primarily with scoliosis and neuropathy, but he has a very serious gut program where he helps people fix their gut bacteria and their flora, which he's going to talk a little bit about tonight. So um, it's going to be awesome information, and I'm just going to let you take over, Josh. Thanks so much for being on.
Excellent. Thank you, JoJo. Excuse me. Thank you, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here. I love sharing this information with all of you and with anybody who will listen. This information has been brought to schools, to children, to adults, to physicians, to everybody who cares about their health or the health of others or their loved ones. A lot of this science is new science in the past few years that we use in our clinic, as JoJo said, and we use this high-level science to get patients to optimum health. I am a product of the product. My family is a product of the product. We do some functional testing. We can see this program work day in and day out. And so I want to jump right into this. I've had the pleasure of presenting this information a few years ago in London at the World Anti-Aging Conference, Preventative Medicine Conference, and have recently been invited to Amsterdam to share this at the Traditional Medicine Conference in September. We do travel around the world. We travel around the States. In fact, we work with thousands of practitioners that use this in their clinic to help their patients get well. So let's talk about the situation. What's going on out there? Why are we a country that is pretty much in the bottom of the barrel, or at the bottom of the barrel, in terms of health life? We have the most amazing doctors. We have the most amazing research and scientists and medications that will keep us alive, that certainly is needed in crisis care. And for some people, it keeps them alive for the duration of their life because of medicine. So medicine is incredible. However, with all of that knowledge and all that science, why are we getting sicker and sicker as a community? So we really need to see what's going on. And this is what's happening. We're going to talk tonight about TDOS. It's toxicity, deficiency, overweight or obesity, and stress. And this is why I think we are not getting healthier, but we're actually getting sicker. And stress, by the way, for those of you that don't know this, when we lecture to a room or present to a room, I ask this question a lot. Who knows what the #1 killer is in the United States right now? And most people either say heart disease or cancer. And it's actually stress. According to Stanford University, stress is the #1 killer right now. And the most common cause of stress is economic stress. So there is definitely a physical, mental component to being healthy and being sick. We certainly know that. But let's get into this. What's going on? Why are we getting sicker and sicker? We're one of the sickest countries in the world. Why is this happening to us? Well, if you look back from 1988, 1 in 4 children had some type of chronic illness. Today, it's 1 in 2. 50% of our kids have some type of chronic illness. The obesity crisis, we're gonna tap into a little bit tonight, but it's getting worse and worse. 2 years ago, Mexico took our title. We were the #1 most obese country in the world, and Mexico stole that title from us. So now we're #2. Still nothing to get too excited about. And this number is getting worse. Okay, we have 23 million children that are obese, and that number is not getting better. Like I said, that is getting worse, and we've got to step in and do something about this. The cancer rates, we have, back in the 50s, it was 1 in 12 of men and women over the age of 55, and now it's 1 in 2. So cancer, again, this is across the board. What's happening? Well, there's a few things that are happening, and we're going to talk about that. But this is what the future holds. This is what experts predict for us, that 42% of us will be obese by 2030. And we will have 100 million Americans diabetic by 2050. Okay? So let's talk about obesity for a second, because everybody wants to point the finger at the obese person or the overweight person. So let me share some information with you about obesity. Obesity is not the problem. There's something called Syndrome X, or metabolic syndrome, okay? And that is where 75% of all of our healthcare dollars go. This is one of the main reasons why healthcare is through the roof, the cost of healthcare. It's because of metabolic syndrome. And we'll talk about where that comes from. But basically, for those of you that don't know Syndrome X, it's the most dangerous heart attack risk factors out there. Okay, things like diabetes, hypertension, or high cholesterol, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, all of those things. And you can't look at someone and determine if they have metabolic syndrome, okay? Because actually, what the numbers show is that 20% of obese people are perfectly healthy. 20% of them are perfectly healthy. They don't have high blood pressure, they don't have high cholesterol, they're perfectly healthy. But guess what? 70% of normal weight people are sick. They have metabolic syndrome. And that's mainly what we see in our clinic, and that's what we see throughout the country in almost every medical facility that you can think of has people that are suffering from metabolic syndrome. Most of them don't even know it yet. Okay? There's something that we call an acronym called TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. And what I want you to see here is person A is the same circumference at person B. You're looking at an MRI. And if you look inside the MRI, you're going to see these dark spots. These are our organs. This is our spinal cord, our vertebra, our kidneys. And in the dark areas are basically our organs. The white area in between is called visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat that surrounds our organs and makes us sicker and sicker and sicker. It literally strangulates our organs. Okay, this is responsible for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all of those things that we saw on to do with metabolic disease. Now, it's not the only cause of metabolic disease, but it is a huge component. The fat on the outside, okay, this is called subcutaneous fat. And actually, you know, that's what you think of when you think of our handlebars on the sides of our hips. You know, small amounts of subcutaneous fat are actually healthy for us. It helps maintain normal hormone levels, etc. But the fat on the inside here is the deadly fat, okay? Now, look at person A and person B. Knowing that the inside white, okay, is visceral fat, which person is healthier? Well, if you said person A is healthier, you're right, because inside person B, you see all of this visceral fat. Their circumference is the same, so if you look at this person, they don't look any different. That's my point. Metabolic disease is the deadly killer, and metabolic disease is responsible for many, many of the health issues that we have today, the diseases, the pathologies, etc. Okay? So is obesity a choice? Can you blame the person for laying on the couch, eating Doritos, drinking Diet Coke? It's her problem, it's her fault. She's the one that doesn't want to go to the gym. Let's point the finger at her. So you either think it's a choice or it's not a choice. And if you think it's a choice, if you think that person chooses to be that way, then you have to be able to explain why we have an epidemic today, an epidemic of obese 6-month-olds. Okay? That is not a choice. There's something going on in their brain. Now, I'm not saying there's no accountability or responsibility for the person sitting on the couch, but when you look at what heroin does to us, or crack cocaine, or hallucinogenic drugs, those chemicals make us see things, think things, feel things that aren't necessarily there to someone who's not using those drugs. Okay? It takes us out of reality. Well, what do you think happens when they put chemicals in our food to make our food to enhance our food, to make it taste good, to make that McDonald's fry taste so good? Why does it taste so good? It's not the potato and the oil. There's excitatory chemicals that actually damage parts of our brain, specifically our hippocampus where our memory cells are. That's just one area of damage. But those chemicals make us think that food is really good, so we go back for more and more and more. And look at this thing right here. There was a study that was done. They studied 742 children who died. They did autopsies on these children. These children died from an accident. And you ready for this? 17% of them, 17% had fatty livers. They never would have known this because you can't just test for a fatty liver. You actually have to take biopsies. You're not going to go in and take a biopsy of a child that you think is healthy or you don't know that is unhealthy. So this is how they did this study. But 17%, 17 out of every 100 have fatty liver disease, and they don't even know it. Horrible. This is the world that we live in. And let's talk about that for a second. In 1982, the world thought that it's the fat. It's the fat. Blame the fat. So the American Heart Association, the American Medical Association, the U.S. Department of Agriculture made the food companies, the food industry, remove 10% of the food. Okay? They reduced our fat consumption. And now, guess what happened with metabolic disease? It got better, right? Wrong. It not only increased, it went through the roof. It got so much worse when they took the fat out of the food. Why is that? Why did that happen? Because it was never the fat. The fat was never the issue. The sugar was the issue. When I say sugar, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. I want to be very clear. There is good sugar. Your body loves sugar. Your body runs on sugar. Your brain runs on sugar. I'm talking to you about the bad sugar tonight. So when I talk to you about sugar being bad, it's the bad sugar, not the good sugar. Dr. Robert Lustig says this is a disaster, an absolute unmitigated disaster. The fat's going down, the sugar's going up, and every one of us, including your kids, we're getting sicker and sicker and sicker. For those of us on this webinar tonight that have had biochemistry, that we have some practitioners on here tonight, you know the Krebs cycle. Now, when you put bad sugar into the body, the liver does what it can, okay? And guess what? It spits out bad results. It's like the exhaust of your car. It's the waste that comes out. That waste from sugar, the bad sugar, turns into visceral fat, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, all of those horrible things. The beverage intake, I feel bad for the parents today. Parents are trying to do the right thing. They look in a magazine, they look on TV, and they see an advertisement for healthy fruit juice or natural fruit juice. It's a joke. These marketing companies, there's no responsibility. They can say whatever they want to say and get away with it because most of these natural fruit juices are worse than sodas. Horrible. So the parents are trying to do the right things, and our kids are getting sicker and sicker from it. The Coca-Cola conspiracy is one of the greatest plays on the human emotions and physiological needs and addiction that has ever been displayed before. This equation down here shows that if you consume one soda a day, you're going to gain 15 pounds of bad fat per year. I'm not going to go through each one and every one of these, but you look at the history of Coke, and I'm not just talking about Coke. I'm talking about most of these 60, that was the 12-ounce can of Coke. You drink one of those a day, you're going to gain 16 pounds of bad fat per year. This bottle that came out, the 20-ounce in 1992, you drink one of those a day, you're going to gain 26 pounds of bad fat per year. I don't know about you, but I know not only children and adults, they don't just consume one of these, they consume 2 of these a day. And we wonder why we're getting sicker and sicker. So here's the Coke conspiracy. What's in Coca-Cola? Caffeine. What is caffeine? Caffeine is a stimulant, so it keeps us awake because we're exhausted. We're exhausted from the kids. We're exhausted from work. We have 7 jobs. We're trying to make ends meet. We're exhausted, right? What else is caffeine? It's a diuretic. You pee free water. It dehydrates you. Why? So you come back for more. You keep me awake and you keep me hydrated. Well, and you dehydrate me at the same time. Salt, again, 55 milligrams of sodium per cam to dehydrate me even more. And sugar. They put sugar in soda because you'd never drink it if they didn't. It's to hide the salt. And in 1985, Coca-Cola got really smart. They said, we're going to create a launch here in our business. And that's when they came out with New Coke. A beautiful new sexy can, new looking curves to the bottle. Everybody's drinking the new Coke, the new thing. More salt, more caffeine, more addiction. Great for their business, horrible for you and I and our children. Okay? This one change in this formula, in this presentation, you earn them hundreds of billions of dollars. So let's get into our deficiencies here for a second. And don't get me wrong, there are other causes. I'm just going to call your attention to a few. I could talk to you for hours and hours about our horrible food supply and our processed foods that we consume today. But let's look at the statistics. This is right from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This shows us the minerals declining in our soil, and this shows, which is this blue line right here, and this red line shows us the increase in mineral deficiency diseases, okay? Diseases that are caused by nutritional deficiencies. Let me explain to you something. We need 70 minerals, I know it says 60, we need 70 minerals every single day. Trace minerals, not just regular minerals, but trace minerals every day for proper neurological function, cognitive function, immune function, endocrine function. Our functions of our body happen from these minerals. Minerals are the catalysts of life, the spark plugs of life. They create every enzymatic reaction for chemicals to be utilized in our body. We need enzymes to turn them on. Just think of them as a lock and key, okay? We need that key to start the process. We don't get 70 minerals every day, everybody. We get far from that. In some of the best products we've seen out there, I've seen about 15 to 20 of them. We need trace amounts of silver, trace amounts of boron, of gold, trace amounts of arsenic every day. People don't realize this. So we work when we function properly. And the absence of any one of these can cause disease. We know this. This is common knowledge. Sierra Coop, ex-Surgeon General of the United States, highly decorated pediatric surgeon, felt that over 70% of all of our diseases are due to nutritional deficiencies. And if he was alive today, he'd be saying that number was a lot higher from the statistics and the real science and the real data that we have today. UCLA did a study, and they found that in 1953, one bowl of spinach gave us a week's supply of iron. You ate a bowl of spinach, you got a week's supply of iron. We need 54 bowls of spinach today to get what one bowl gave us in 1953. Now, I'm telling you this because I don't believe we would need to supplement if our food gave us everything it was intended to give us. The fact is, we can prove today that it doesn't. The fact is that not just my clinic, but offices and practitioners across the board, nutritionists, dietitians, internists, see people every single day that do eat healthy. They eat organic, they exercise, and they're getting sicker and sicker, and they feel lousy, and they're not sleeping, and they have headaches, and they have all of these horrible problems, and their gut is all jacked up, and it's not processing properly. Why? Because if the food was giving us what we needed, half these people would be fine. The fact is, it's deficient, it's bankrupt. Our food is bankrupt. We need 8 oranges today compared to 1 orange back in 1936 when our grandparents were alive. We need 6 to 12 apples today to give us what 1 apple gave us in the 70s. We can't get it from our food. And there's still people that think they're going to do it this way. And that's fine if they want to think that, but they end up hurting themselves and their loved ones too. We need to supplement. Okay? Let's talk about pH. Now, when I say low pH, I'm talking about high acidity down here. When I'm talking about alkaline, I'm talking about high pH. Our bodies want to be around 7.25. That's what we call homeostasis. That's where every function and system in our body is working at its optimum. We are thriving, we're healthy, we're fighting viruses and bacteria and diseases, and we're coming out on top, and everything's great. The problem is that our world makes us so acidic, and almost all of the horrible diseases and states that we know of happen in a highly acidic environment. It is not good to be acidic. In fact, we lose a lot of calcium in the strength of our bones the more acidic we are. But your body has this amazing regulatory mechanism to keep us alive. So when you walk by someone smoking a cigarette, the toxins and chemicals alone in that smoke make us acidic. So our body has to right itself. Okay, we dip down into that acid place, and the body's going to bring us back up to that perfect place if it can get there. And how does it do it? It grabs calcium bicarbonate and it pulls calcium out of the bones to buffer the blood to bring the pH back up. Okay, and now you have a sip of soda with some phosphorus in it. You become very acidic again. The body goes into the bones, pulls calcium out of the bones to buffer the blood so you stay alive. And now you have some coffee. And I want to be very clear, we now have the ability to get alkaline coffee. But coffee, regular coffee out there, has some really good antioxidant qualities out there, and other components too. The problem is it is very, very acidic. There is now alkaline coffee, specifically the one that I drink, is infused with minerals and enzymes and I'm sorry, minerals and trace minerals to offset the acidity, and has other beautiful health benefits in there as well. But I'm talking about acidic coffee. You drink some of that, you become very acidic. The same thing happens. Your body pulls calcium out of the bones to buffer the blood. This is what osteoporosis is. We have 30-year-old women that are osteopenic and osteoporotic. Osteopenic is the state before the disease. Osteoporosis is where you're losing more bone than your body can build back up. It is not just with women that are older in age, and like I said, just in women. We see men and we see young adults becoming osteopenic and osteoporotic. Right, they're breaking records now with those numbers. It's getting worse and worse and worse. The white sugar, the refined carbohydrates, all of these things you see up here. Now, I know they're gonna send a question and say, well, what about chicken? What about meat? I'm not saying never have anything that's acidic, although there are some things on here that you absolutely should never have, like sugar substitutes. I'm talking about lamb and chicken and meat. I eat that, but it's not the majority of my diet. We talk about eating 80% alkaline foods, 20% acidic foods, and the healthy acidic foods, not the garbage, okay, that causes a lot of inflammation and stress to our bodies. And this is what the world looks like. This kid he's already probably type 2 diabetic. He probably already has high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It's horrible. I tell this story. Lisa and I were driving through Hartford, Connecticut. We were going to open up a medical facility with this health program, and we saw on the sign it said lunch special at McDonald's. It said $2.75. Right? Now, what is the parent supposed to do who barely makes minimum wage or makes minimum wage and has 3 kids and can barely afford to keep the lights on, or they pay for that electric bill and they can't feed their kids? I get it. We understand why people go there. We're not blaming necessarily all the parents, although some do need some responsibility put upon themselves. But the majority is, the world that we live in. They can't afford to live. Of course they're buying these meals cheap. But we've done this throughout the world. Our fast food, our industry has spread across the country and across the world for that matter. It used to be you took a breath of fresh air and you got healthy from that good clean air. You drank good clean water, you got healthy. You ate good clean food without the garbage in it, you got healthy. And it was okay because all the poisons and pesticides were kept locked up under the kitchen sink and little Johnny couldn't get at it and everything was fine. And that's the furthest from the truth now, because the fact is we have 202 studies that prove organic food is no healthier than inorganic food. It's the same deficient food. It doesn't have the minerals and the nutrition that it once did. It does have less herbicides and pesticides, so I try to eat as much organic as I can, but it doesn't make us healthier, okay? Mount Sinai School of Medicine indicated that we have 167, not harmful, they say deadly toxins stored in our body. The toxicity is just getting worse. Since World War II, we've had 80,000 new industrial chemicals come into our world. Only 7 of them have been banned. And I heard less than 12 of them have been actually tested. Less than 15 of them have actually been tested on human beings. Okay? CNN did a study and they found that they actually tested newborn baby girls and baby boys. They studied their umbilical tissue at birth. They want to test their blood at birth to see what toxicity levels they had. And this is what they found. Every single one of them had over 250 industrial chemicals inside them at birth. Okay? So for many of us, even for you hearing this information, it's not fun hearing this information. It's depressing hearing this information. And you can do one of two things. You can turn your head. You can put your head in the sand like this gentleman. You can say, listen, I'm just going to go on and do my thing, and whatever happens, happens. And that's okay. We give everybody the right to choose. But we want to empower those that want to be empowered and take control. I've been using high-level science for the 17 years I've been practicing. 4 years ago, I was turned on to this program that I want to share with you. This company is not the only good nutrition company out there, and be very clear about it. But I haven't found one that goes to the ends of the earth that has an absolute, unyielding, no compromise policy with what they give us, what they provide, how they test, and where they source than any other company out there. But we're confused. The public doesn't really know that. They see that every company says we have the best multivitamin, we have the best protein. This company says they have the best Weight Watchers, or excuse me, weight loss system. That was an accident, by the way. I apologize. You know, every company says we have the best product. So how do you know? Well, you have to go with a company that's transparent. You have to go to a company that'll answer your questions. You have to be able to call up and find out where they source their protein from. Okay, and you have to be able to find out what type of sugar they use. You want to be able to find out everything you can to know that you're giving your kids and your spouse and your parents and your friends the highest quality nutrition you can. Now let me tell you something, because I see a lot of Centrum and Flintstones in my office. There is absolutely no place, zero place, for petroleum products in our body. There is no place for hydrogenated oils or trans fats in our body. Okay? That's all I need to say about that. You can look at this stuff and you can see for yourselves, and yet I still know practitioners that recommend patients take Centrum, one a day. The golden year is one a day. This is an x-ray where you can see an undigested Centrum go through the GI tract and into the rectum. Okay? Undigested. And by the way, I don't think I said this before, but if you take vitamins without minerals, you basically have expensive urine, and that's about it. Minerals, and no one talks about this, no one tells anybody this, no one says this, minerals turn on vitamins. Your vitamins, even the best vitamins, are useless without minerals. Useless. That's why they're called the spark plugs of life. They turn on every reaction that we know of. So what do we do in my clinic? What do we do in thousands of clinics across the country and in 13 other countries right now? Well, what we don't do is diets. Diets do not work. Diets have a 98% failure rate according to the National Institute of Health. They fail 98% of the time. It is dangerous to restrict calories on someone, because when you restrict calories and you don't give someone the minerals that they need, your body's cortisol levels increase. What does that do? On top of give us more stress and more pathologies, it decreases bone mass, it decreases lean muscle. Bad, bad. Both of those lead to pathological states. Let alone, Linda's going to rebound, Linda and John and everybody else who diets, 98% of the time, 3 or 4 months after they go on this diet, whatever diet they choose, they're going to gain all the weight back, if not more, when they're done. That's called rebound. This program I want to talk to you about right now is not a diet. It's a nutritional fasting program where we're infusing your body every single day with the nutrition that Mother Nature intended. This is based on research, it's based on science, and you get results. I get to see objective data every day in my clinic. No one can tell me this doesn't work. In fact, this works every single time. I tell my patients, put it in your mouth. Put it in your mouth and let's talk in 2 weeks. If you don't like it, send it back. The company will refund you for your products. You have nothing to lose, but you have health to gain. And I don't get people right off the street that I'm their first stop. I'm their last stop. People on this call right now that are using the system that are practitioners were the last stop for some of their patients and clients because they've tried everything out there. So what we do in our clinic is very simple. Number one, get your kids and get off of all sugary liquids. I'm talking about the bad sugar. Okay? If you're going to take an orange and make fresh squeeze, I'm talking about you in your kitchen making fresh squeezed orange juice, that's good sugar in its whole form, drink it. But that's about a 0.0000001% of us that do that. Okay? Get rid of all sugary liquids. Number two, we need to remove the deadly toxins in our system. I'm not talking about the water-soluble toxins that where juicy can get rid of or your liver can get rid of. I'm talking about fat-soluble toxins, the deadly toxins that lodge into our cells. And by the way, the American Society of Endocrinologists named these fat cells that keep us alive. They house and build walls up around dangerous, deadly toxins that can actually kill us if the fat wasn't there. Okay, I'm talking about those toxins, removing them. We need to get on the right minerals. We put our patients on the right essential minerals and not just probiotics, people, okay? It's not even about the probiotics anymore. That's important. That's short term. Prebiotics. And again, no one's talking about prebiotics. This is where we see a rapid change in people's health. Infusing the body with prebiotics, we're going to talk about what that is in a second. We want to normalize the pH, reduce inflammation, restore the normal gut flora, or as we've been hearing about lately all over the place, the microbiome. The microbiome, for those of you that don't know what that is all of the organisms that live in us and on us, the viruses, the bacteria, the pathogens, all of the little microbes. Those microbes, by the way, keep us alive. Okay? We're so used to fighting them and washing them off with antibacterial soap. No, no, no. You know, where we are right now in science, that's what keeps us alive. And we thrive on that. In fact, we have more organisms than we do cells in our body. 10 to 1. 10 to 1 more bacteria and viruses that enhance our immune system. I can't get off in this tangent, but I can tell you there are other countries that don't have the hygiene processes, hygienic behavior that we do here, is what I'm trying to say, and they have little to none of the autoimmune diseases that we see in the industrialized world, where we're antibacterial this and antibacterial that. These kids are playing in the dirt. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that tangent. We want to increase the absorption of essential minerals and vitamins. Obviously, normal weight level is very important, and we want to make sure, here's a kicker, we're eating our carbohydrates with fiber. That's the deal here. You know, you can go and gnaw on a sugar beet or a sugar cane, eat 10 of them, you're going to be fine. Your sugar levels aren't going to change. You're going to be healthy. You know why? Because that's the form Mother Nature intended us to eat it with. Eat it in that form, with the fiber. But when you refine sugar, you highly, highly process it, or other components from Mother Nature, you destroy the vehicle in which our body is supposed to absorb it with. So what do? We infuse the body with massive, massive amounts of nutrition. That's what we do. We're not depriving the body. That's what all these other diets do. It's a deprivation, okay? We are not doing that deprivation. We are infusing. So number one, we have to get rid of the damage, and then we have to infuse the good stuff. We are not what we eat. We are what we absorb. So let's talk about our toolbox, and then we're going to wrap up the evening tonight. There's many aspects of this program. I'm only going to hit on a couple. We use, number one, a specialized juice. That specialized juice is known to chelate harmful chemicals in our body. We are using what Mother Nature has given us hundreds and hundreds of millions of years ago. In fact, many species have been using this many, many years ago in the soils, which gets into the foods and whatnot. This specialized juice has a couple key components. Number one, it comes from the gel of the aloe vera plant. The heart of the aloe vera plant is something called, there's something in there called polysaccharides. Polysaccharides disable those deadly toxins and make them harmless to our liver and our kidney, so our liver and kidney can get rid of them. The problem is many of these companies capitalize on that notion. They say, we use aloe juice. Well, that's great. But let me show you what this company does. In the aloe vera plant are leaves. In the leaves are enzymes. Those enzymes break down and basically inactivate polysaccharides. So you have company A, natural supplement company A, they grind down the entire aloe vera plant, enzymes and all, it deactivates the polysaccharides. This company, Isagenix, by the way, Isagenix is not a drug. It's not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure any ailment, injury, disease, or pathology out there. This is for training purposes only, and these statements have not been approved by the FDA. We are not treating any disease with this. This is what we use to get our patients and to get our people and everybody healthy or healthier. Okay, but this company removes the leaves so that those polysaccharides are not inactivated. That's why this aloe juice, not only is it infused with minerals, but it destroys and breaks down those harmful chemicals and harmful toxins so our body can excrete them. We use a supercharged mineral drink with over 200 adaptogens. Adaptogens, basically, I like to equate this to a Norton antiviral software program. What does Norton Antivirus do? It rummages through your computer, defrags the disks, and basically cleans up the garbage. That's what adaptogens do. It adapts your body so your body can adapt to stress. Powerful, powerful trace minerals that your body needs, one of the most important thing every single person takes. And now let's talk about our meal replacement shake with this protein. Why is this superior to almost everything else out there? The world's most perfect food is mother's breast milk. We all know that. It's made up of 60% whey, 40% milk protein. We get our protein, undenatured whey protein, Okay, the finest protein in the world from New Zealand cows. These cows eat grass, believe it or not. There are no hormones, no steroids, no antibiotics, and you better believe whatever the cow or the animal eats, you are ingesting, and that gets lodged in your cells, and we can measure that, and we can prove that. But this whey is not highly pasteurized. It is not cooked at high temperatures, nor does it use do they use high acids or salts to destroy it and basically break down the nutritional value. That's why it's called undenatured. You're getting the full nutritional component of that whey. You're not getting the garbage, okay, that everybody thinks of when they think of dairy. We're just talking about the whey, not the dairy. Okay, you're getting those 90 essential nutrients, the superior amino acid complex. Okay, but what you're also getting, which is so important in cleansing and getting rid of the garbage, is cysteine. Okay, whey, undenatured whey, okay, high quality whey, allows your body to produce cysteine. Excuse me. Cysteine is another toxin hunter, just like those polysaccharides. It pulls those toxins apart, makes them safe for the kidney and the liver to pass out of the body. You are getting rid of the garbage. Okay? Prebiotics allows your body to make and create its own probiotics. We're not just feeding the probiotics, we're allowing the growth of your body's own flora, paramount with the immune system. I explained to you before why diets don't work. Here, this shows what diets do. You have the rebound effect. You gain more fat, and that's from a real physiological expression. To keep your body alive, your body has to produce more fat because these diets don't address the toxins. If the fat cell shrinks, the toxin comes out, goes into the blood, very dangerous. Your body makes more fat, and you get bigger and bigger. Versus, don't go after the caloric size of that cell, go after the toxin. And when you go after the toxin, yes, you have to bring calories down a little bit, but the main gist of this is going after the toxins, the unwanted fat drops off. Because I'm going to a little over tonight, we're at minute 35, we're okay. We do have peer review research. We have published articles and published MRIs that show the difference between this program compared to people eating healthy. This program, this study right here was published in Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Metabolism, shows that people on the 30-day isogenics program had 2 times the amount of visceral fat loss compared to people eating healthy. I need to say that again, not compared to people eating McDonald's, compared to people eating healthy. This is the #1 reason why we have so many healthcare practitioners, because you can't argue with good science. You can't argue with a program that says, look, we know people need to eat healthy. However, they can't get this healthy from regular food. We've got to break down those deadly toxins and get rid of them. Here's that published MRI before the 30-day program, after the 30-day program. There's other awards that this company has been recognized with. This last study, the Colgan Institute, identified the fact that athletes will gain lean muscle on a nutritional fasting program, and I think this is paramount when that you understand this. Most athletes think of, when they think of cleansing or nutritional fasting, they think of muscle wasting and bone loss. That's the opposite direction where they want to go. This program has been proven, even in athletes under 10% body fat, to gain 3% more lean muscle going on a nutritional fasting program. How is that possible? Because we're not depriving the body. We are enhancing the body with what Mother Nature gave us. We are not processing, we're enhancing. We're giving back the food what was there 100 million years ago. Okay, and by the way, the definition of food for everybody, okay, it's not just the fats, the carbs, the proteins. Definition of food is to transfer and carry genetic information toward the gene to make our body run. It's the gasoline to make our body run. So for those of you that don't think GMO is bad for you, you need to think again. You're genetically changing the genes inside your body. That is not a good thing. I want you all to get back with the person that invited you on this webinar tonight. They can explain to you or send you some more information about how this works. It is not difficult, everybody. It really is. It's not difficult. In fact, people don't even realize what they're doing after a couple days. It's super easy. You take a shake for breakfast, a healthy lunch, a shake for dinner. You're using some of the other supplements. It's easily explained. And there's nothing to lose. The company will send you your money back for the products if you're not happy with it. It's guaranteed. This is to empower those of you that are ready to make a change. This is to give those of you some more information that might not be ready for change or just want to see what we're talking about. That's okay too. But I will tell you, those of you that want to step out and change your health, change your weight, change the bad sleep and the bad energy that you have, I am telling you this program works every single time when done correctly. I'm here to help. Jojo is here to help. We have a huge team of people that are here to help you. So I thank you so much, and thank you, Jojo, for having me on tonight again. And that's all I got for this evening.
Hey Josh, thanks so much. That was so informative. I actually have a question that Dr. Andrew has posted up about where are good places to cite or research the organic food statements about mineral deficiency. Can you direct him to where to research some of that?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I can send you some articles. You can Google that as well. If you Google, you'll find articles from. You have to dig a little bit from the NIH, certainly from the studies that I cited in this presentation. I can send you U.S. Department of Agriculture. Just type in the state of health. You can Google mineral deficiencies. You'll see studies like the Dirty Dozen pops up. They have some good sightings on there. If you look at the bottom of the Dirty Dozen, you'll see some publications and some other cited work that has the research there. But I can send you the information from this presentation and give you whatever you're looking for. But you can get on Google and you can find the stuff pretty easily now.
Awesome. I also know that if you if you go on YouTube and you research Peter Greenlaw and you watch any of his shows that he's recorded, he talks a lot about food deficiency. He's one of the top food researchers, I believe they're saying in the world, and so it's Peter Greenlaw.
Yeah, he absolutely, Jojo. In fact, he is the #1 bestseller in that category. That is a great. I didn't even think about that. You can see he cites all that in there, Dr. Andy, on this webinar. Great research, Jojo. Thank you for bringing that up.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any other questions or want to go to McDonald's and get some French fries? Kidding.
Awesome.
Anything, comments, questions, anything you want to ask him while you got him? Can you speak a little bit to where the prebiotics are in Isogenics?
Yep, there's something called the prebiotic fiber that we use. They're also in the shakes as well.
Awesome, and I also believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Mars Venus line, which also is available through Isogenics,
Right, John Gray
the
stuff,
morning
right?
cleanse, yeah, the morning cleanse also has prebiotics.
Yes, they do. Yep, John Gray stuff. That's right.
Please talk about the juice.
The juice.
Why it's so important. You mean the cleanse for life? Yes. Why cleansing is so important to stress levels, to inflammation, the specialized juice. There you go.
This is. I mean, I try to single out the most important products, and I really struggle every single time because every product is so key to this system. It's another tool to get rid of the garbage that builds up in our body, and these herbs, these minerals, have been around, like I said, since the beginning of time to get rid of the garbage. I mean, it's the fuel, the rocket fuel that our bodies need to survive. Mother Nature didn't design us to run on turkey sandwiches, and so this product right here, Isogenics put together to enhance and infuse us with what we've needed since our creation. So, but it's paramount. This is this is what we do on a cleansing day. So 5 to 6 days when you start the program, you're doing shakes in a healthy meal. And on the sixth or seventh day, on a cleanse day, you're doing either a full day of the cleanse juice or 4 ounces 4 times a day, and it's chelating the body, it's bringing out, it's getting rid of the garbage. It's paramount to why the system works so well. And you can read all the different things that are in here from this slide. But literally think about it as removing the impurities that we're exposed to, and not just once a week. I drink this, you know, I drink 4 ounces usually before I go to bed, sometimes 2 ounces in the morning. I cleanse every day. We're constantly around garbage and toxins every single day from the water that we drink, the air that we breathe. And so the Cleanse for Life, there's nothing like it. And like I said, this company goes the extra mile to just give us the gel from the aloe vera plant and not the leaves, which will deactivate the goodness. Plus the fact aloe juice is probably the #1 most important, healthiest benefit to our GI tract, to our gut. That juice is so healing. It's anti-inflammatory, but it's literally pouring the goodness and nutrition right back into our system, right back into our immune system.
So, when we think about inflammation, we get inflammation from all kinds of places. So not only just stress, but we're talking about stress from lack of nutrition, stress from emotional stress, stress from, performance or say workouts, that puts stress on your system. Financial stress, mental stress, emotional stress, the guy who cut you off in traffic stress, kid stress. But, when we're not fueling correctly, then all of that stress really creates inflammation in the system. And so this helps to alleviate that. And when you couple that with the Ionic Supreme, which has been clinically proven to really reduce cellular stress, it's just a 1-2 punch to help the cell stress be alleviated.
Absolutely. Jojo, I just want to add one other thing. What people don't realize that many of you on this webinar, you exercise, you work out. Some of you are athletes on here. When you go to the gym or you're exercising, you're killing cells. Okay, that's the nature of the process. We're killing cells, and then we go to sleep at night, and your body is actually building cells back up and growing new cells. The problem is that if you're destroying cells, okay, which we are if we go to the gym, we're exercising, and at night your body is going to gather up anything it can to create these new cells. If we are nutrient deficient, those cells are not going to be superior. If we have these toxins that we keep ingesting with processed foods and sugars and all that, those cells are not going to be superior. We want to be infusing our body with the most nutrient dense superfood on the planet. So at night, you have these scavengers that go out and collect all this nutrition. It builds our cells back up. That is why when we look at athletes or people that go to the gym and they get on this program, you don't have to be a high-end athlete or a professional athlete. If you're exercising, you get on this program, you will see remarkable changes. You will see that you don't have to work out as hard to get better results. Because when your body at night is resting, it's actually grabbing any of the nutrition that it can to build up those new cells. So this whole new AMP line that came out, oh my goodness, you should see the results that we're getting with our athletes with the new AMP line. Because at night it's grabbing those amino acids, it's grabbing the nutrition that we're putting back in, infusing in the body to build up healthy cells. Omega-3 fish oil is paramount. The DHA in omega-3s, okay, are the structure and the strength of every cell wall that we have, the cell membrane, I should say. The cell membrane when creating new cells. So it's paramount that we take that as well. There's so many things that this company has they just lead by example. They are leaders. They are giving us everything that we need to be the healthiest that we possibly can be.
Hey, Josh, all great points. And, we look at things as, sometimes we separate things out and we go, okay, we have a shake, we have cleanse, and somebody will go, okay, well, I'll just take a cleanse. And so we really know that things work together as a system. And so a lot of times people will go, I just need my greens. And so can you talk about how our greens really fit into the system we do and what makes them different from other companies?
Absolutely. Our greens, basically, I tell people that if you're able to make these wonderful green kale drinks 4, 5, 6 times a day, go for it. That's good for you. You're still not going to be getting the nutrition that we need. The greens are paramount because what we found is if you don't level out or increase patients' pH level to that homeostatic point around 7, 7.25, but around 7, it doesn't really, everything else doesn't really matter that much. It matters, but if you're still very acidic, you're going to be in that pathological state. Our greens are so important to level out our pH balance. Plus, I mean, you're infusing the body with organic sources of calcium, with all of the essential Bs that we need. We need all of these, anything that you think of that's green in nature, the plants, we need to be living on a plant-based diet along with, I mean, I'm a protein eater. Excuse me, I eat meat, I eat chicken, but the majority of our diet should be plant-based. It is giving us back the nutrition from our plants, the botanicals. That's really what our cells need to thrive on. And we don't get enough of it. And the greens drink, one of those scoops is sufficient. It's more than sufficient for what we need in terms of all of those aspects. It is paramount with pH in the body, and it's really been a game changer for some really struggling people that have been struggling with serious health issues. You've got to pH the body. It helps decrease inflammation, but you're getting the good nutrition from our dark green leafy vegetables and plants that we wouldn't normally get without that. So I put a scoop in every morning in my shake. When I get to my office, I put a scoop in there, and sometimes I'll have a scoop by itself just in water in the afternoon. And the people, not that we can't talk about, we're not going to talk about specific diseases, but people that have some, let's say, digestive issues, they notice going on this program very quickly that those start to get on, they start to become, what's the word I'm looking for, start to get them under control, and mainly because of the alkalinity that the greens have to offer, and the anti-acidic components to it.
Awesome. You still with me?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Can you,
I don't know if I cut out or not.
and anybody can drink a shake, but we know that this shake is different than just your any old shake on the shelf. So if I walk into Walmart or Costco and I grab a shake off the shelf, what makes this so different?
Oh gosh. I mean, the first thing we need to do is you look at the ingredients, and you'll know right away that most of that protein is basically a grade level 2. Cat and dog food protein. The quality of protein is so important. Cat and dog food is a grade level 1. This is the highest grade protein out there. So number one, it's very, very difficult to find that. Number two, you're going to see a lot of synthetic chemicals. You're going to see creamers in most of the shakes. You're going to see ingredients that there's no reason to be putting those in the human body. You're going to see preservatives. You're going to see taste enhancers, artificial this and artificial flavors. You're going to see a lot of garbage that your body doesn't want, doesn't need, and don't know what to do with, but make more fat to surround those toxins. So most of that is really it's not a high quality product. It's the exact opposite. On top of that, you're going to see whey. You'll see either whey or you'll see denatured whey. Some shakes actually say denatured whey. The issue is the whey, pure whey, unadulterated whey, is very good for us. Like I said, it mimics mother's breast milk. It's what we were made to thrive on. And most of those shakes have denatured whey. Like I said, they're cooked at high temperatures. Their nutritional value has been damaged so much, and specifically the peptide bonds are damaged. And literally the nutritional value is broken down. Thus, we are not utilizing what we should be utilizing on top of all the other garbage that's in the product. On top of, where did the whey come from? I challenge anybody to call up the company and find out, where did the whey come from? Where are the cows? What are they feeding the cows? There's very few companies that do it right. But you better believe if those cows are being round up right now in Dedham, Massachusetts, or in Boston, or in Hartford, Connecticut, it's unlikely that they're healthy, happy cows. That has everything to do with your cellular nutrition and your cellular health. You can aspirate cells and pull out the garbage that they fed to the cow before you consume the whey. So that's very important what they're feeding the animals. It's very important if they're sticking them with steroids and antibiotics in chemicals, right? They're feeding them antibiotics because of the mass amounts of inflammation that eating corn creates in their body and damaging their GI tract, so they have to give them antibiotics and steroids. It's horrible. Cows should not be eating corn. So when you look at a protein shake on the shelf, you got to look at all that stuff. If you want an okay shake, yeah, you could find an okay shake, but for $2.50 per shake, it's a full meal replacement. You're getting all of the probiotics, the prebiotics, the enzymes. You're getting the amino acids that your body needs to create the protein. Your body creates. You ready for this? And this is from Peter Greenlaw, actually. Your body creates. Oh, I'm sorry. This is from Dr. Michael Kogan. Over 350,000 different types of proteins. Body's made up of protein. You know what builds that protein? Amino acids. Good amino acids, superior amino acids allow your body to produce that. And if you're getting subpar products from subpar, I mean, you just go to GNC and go to Vitamin Shop. They're a dime a dozen. But look at the ingredients, look at what type of whey it is, call the company, find out where they're sourcing it from, and ask the questions. And if you find something that lives up to those standards, use it. Why not? Use it. But make sure your questions are answered. Don't just do it because the guy behind the counter says, yeah, that one's good, this one's good. If I told you how many times I was told that, and you look and you see creamer or you see soy protein, you won't find any soy protein in these products. You won't find any GMO in these products. Far different from any shake that I could find on the market. It's CVS, Costco, GNC. Absolutely.
Such great points. And I know that sometimes we just look at a label and we don't see the whole story. So it's so important to do the research. And I know that I've personally called the companies. I've personally spoken with the actual companies on the phone and asked them where they source their protein from, and no, either they don't want to tell you or they don't know. And either way, it's bad. So
Right.
that's a
That's
good
right.
point. So I know that we've gone really long tonight, and we appreciate all of your time and knowledge, and I know that we recorded this tonight, so if anybody, we will get it uploaded. If anybody would like to share it, you'll be able to do that. And if you guys have any other questions, please throw them out really quickly. Otherwise, we want to respect Dr. Dunsky's time tonight, and I know he's up way early in the morning tomorrow.
Very early.
So we just want to appreciate and send love and gratitude to you for all of your knowledge, and for being open to taking a look at this and really putting it to the test, and doing the physiological tests that you do in your office to really prove what can be done here. So we appreciate your time and effort, and want to thank you. And thank you guys for all being on tonight. And if you guys want to just send a quick shout out to Dr. Dunsky and say thank you, that would be great. Other than that, we are going to say goodnight. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, JoJo. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Love you, Josh.
Thanks, Vinny. Love you too, buddy.